પ્રીવિયસ વિડીયોમાં આપણે કિડની વિશે કિડનીના અંદર જે માઇક્રોસ્ટ્રક્ચર નેફ્રોન્સ આવે છે એના વિશે જાણ્યું હતું. હવે આપણે ફંક્શન ઓફ ધ કિડની જાણવાનું છે. ફોર્મેશન ઓફ યુરિન બનાવવાનું. ધ કિડનીઝ ફોર્મ યુરિન which passes through the ureters to the bladder for storage prior to excretion. The compositions of urine reflects the activity of the nephrons with the maintenance of homeostasis. Waste products of protein metabolisms are excreted. Electrolyte balance is maintained by, and the pH is maintained by the excretion of hydrogen ions. There are three processes involved in the formation of urine: simple filtration, selective reabsorption, and secretion. નેક્સ્ટ ડાયાગ્રામ, જેમાં આપણને ગ્લોમેરુલર કેપ્સ્યુલ, બીજું નામ છે બાયોમેન્સ કેપ્સ્યુલ, એમાં જે બ્લડ વેસલ્સ આવેલી છે એમાં ગ્લોમેરુલર બ્લડ હાઇડ્રોસ્ટેટિક પ્રેશર 55 mmHg હોય, બ્લડ કોલોઇડેડ ઓસ્મોટિક પ્રેશર 30 mmHg હોય અને કેપ્સ્યુલર હાઇડ્રોસ્ટેટિક પ્રેશર 15 mmHg હોય. નેટ આઉટવર્ડ પ્રેશર 10 mmHg થાય. ધ ફિલ્ટ્રેશન એન્ડ નેફ્રોન કઈ રીતનું બાયોમેન્સ કેપ્સ્યુલમાં થાય એ આપણને આમાં દર્શાવેલું છે. સિમ્પલ filtration takes place through the semi-permeable walls of the glomerulus and glomerular capsule. Water and a large number of small molecules pass through, although some are reabsorbed later. Blood cells, plasma proteins, and other large molecules are unable to filter through the remain in the capillaries. The filtration in the glomerulus is very similar in composition to plasma, with the important exception of plasma proteins. Filtration is assisted by the difference between the blood pressure in the glomerulus and the pressure of the filtrate in the glomerular capsule. Because the diameter of the efferent arterioles is less than the efferent arterioles. Efferent arteriole કરતાં efferentની diameter વધારે હોય છે. A capillary hydrostatic pressure of about 7.3 kilopascal, 55 mmHg, builds up in a glomerulus. This pressure is opened by a osmotic pressure of the blood about 4 kilopascal, 33 mmHg, and by filtrate hydrostatic pressure of about. Next, constituents of glomerular filtrate and glomerular capillaries. Blood constituents in glomerular filtrate: water, mineral salts, amino acids, ketoacids, glucose, hormones, creatinine, urea, uric acid, toxins, some drugs. Blood constituents remaining the glomerulus: leukocytes, erythrocytes, platelets, plasma proteins, some drugs. 2 kilopascal means 15 mmHg in the glomerular capsule. The net filtration pressure is therefore 7.3 minus 4 plus 2 is equal to 1.3 kilopascal, or 55 minus 30 plus 15 is equal to 10 mmHg. The volume of filtrate formed by both kidneys each minute is called the glomerular filtration rate, GFR. As a healthy adult, this GFR is about 125 ml per minute. For example, 180 liters of dilute filtrate are formed each day by the two kidneys. Most of the filtrate is reabsorbed with less than 1%. For example, 1 to 1.5 liters excreted as urine. The difference in volume and concentration is due to selective reabsorption of some constituents of the filtrate and tubular secretion of others. Auto regulation of filtration: renal blood flow is protected by a mechanism called auto regulation, whereby renal blood flow is maintained at the constant pressure across the wide range of systolic blood pressure from 180 to 200 mmHg. Autoregulation operates independently of nervous control. For example, if the nerve supply to the renal blood vessels is interrupted, autoregulation continues to operate. This is therefore a probability inherent in renal blood vessels. It may be stimulated by changes in blood pressure in the renal arteries or by uh, fluctuating levels of certain metabolites. For example, prostaglandins. In severe shock, when the systolic blood pressure falls down 80 mmHg, autoregulation fails and renal blood flow in the hydrostatic pressure decrease, impairing filtration within the nephrons. Selective reabsorption. Selective reabsorption is the process by which the composition and volume of the glomerular filtrate and already during its passes through the convoluted tubules, the medullary loops and the collective tubules. The general purpose of this process is to reabsorb into the blood the filtrate constituents needed by the body to maintain fluid and electrolyte balance and the pH of the blood. Active transport is carried out at carrier sites in the epithelial membrane using chemical energy to transport substances against their concentration gradients. Some constituents of glomerular filtrates, for example glucose, amino acids, do not normally appear in urine because they are completely reabsorbed unless they are present in blood in excessive quantities. The kidneys' maximum capacity for reabsorption of the substance is the transport maximum or renal threshold. For example, normal blood glucose. Direction of selective reabsorption and secretion in the nephron. Blood in capillary, filtrate in tubule. Selectively transabsorption, reabsorption from tubule to blood. Secretion from blood to tubule. Glucose level is 2.5 to 5.3 millimole per liter, 45 to 95 milligram per 100 ml. If the level rises above the transport maximum of about 9 millimole per liter, glucose appears in the urine because all the carrier sites are occupied and the mechanism for active transfer out of the tubules is overloaded. Other substances reabsorbed by active transport include amino acids and sodium, calcium, potassium, phosphate, and chloride. Some ions, for example sodium chloride, can be absorbed by both active and passive mechanisms depending on site in the nephron. The transport maximum or renal threshold of some substances varies according to the body's need for them at the time, and in some cases reabsorption is regulated. Parathyroid hormone from the parathyroid glands and calcitonin from the thyroid gland together regulate reabsorption of calcium and phosphate. Antidiuretic hormones ADS from the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland increase the permeability of this distal convoluted tubules DCT and collective tubules, increasing water reabsorption. Aldosterone secreted by the adrenal cortex increases the reabsorption of sodium and excretion of potassium. Nitrogenous waste products such as urea and uric acids are reabsorbed only to a slight extent. Next diagram negative feedback, a regulation of secretion of antidiuretic hormones ADS નો બતાવે છે જેમાં બ્લડ ઓસ્મોટિક પ્રેશર રેઇઝ તો osmoregulators in hypothalamus, stimulate posterior pituitary gland, increase secretion of ADS, increases reabsorption of water by kidneys, blood osmotic pressure lower થઈ જાય, inhibition.